we're going to talk about partitioning a segment, also known as directed line segments. So if I look at my first example here, it says how I can do it on the coordinate plane. So there are two strategies. One is on the coordinate plane and one is off. So the first question says that we're going to find the point on the segment that separates the segment so that the ratio of CA to AT is 3:2. If C is located at -1,6 and T is located at 9, +1. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to plot C and T. So C is -1, +6. And T is at 9, +1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my graph and I'm going to connect my 2 points. So I'm going to use a straight line to connect C to T. And it helps to be very precise with this. So make sure you're using a ruler. Now it says that we need to break it up so that the ratio of CA to AT is 3:2. What that means is that A is between C and T, and that from CA we would be 3 parts in, and A to T would be 2 parts. So that means that altogether we need to add 3 plus 2 to give me 5 parts total. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in a right triangle where my segment that I've just drawn is the hypotenuse, because I need to see how far it is from C to T. And then I can break it up into 5 parts, but I first need to see how far it is. So from C down to T is 5, down 5 here, and then across is 1, 2, 3, 4, is 10. Always want to double check. So now what I need to do is I need to, instead of jumping all the way from C to T, I need to take break that up into 5 equal parts. So this is where our 5 parts comes in. We're going to divide each of these lengths here by the number of parts. So first I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to divide it by 5 parts. So that would be my rise, even though it's technically a -5. But I would divide it by the 5 parts. And that means that each time I actually need to go down 1. And then I could take the run, which is 10, and divide that into 5 equal parts. And I would get the run is 2. So each time from one point to the next, I would go over 2 and down 1. And I'm going to repeat this pattern as I go down my segment. It winds up looking a lot like a staircase. But as you can see now, I have 5 little triangles that are all equal that break up my segment into 5 equal parts. The last thing that I need to do is to draw some points on this line. Well, each of these little stairs gives me a point on the line to break it up into those 5 equal parts. And I just need to figure out where A goes. So if point A is right here, I've labeled it, and I can name that point using an X and a Y coordinate. Point A is located at 5, 3. Number line. This also is really useful if the numbers get too big. So the first thing that you need to do is just like before, we need to read the question, and this is the same question as before, but we're going to see how many parts we have. And again, we're going to add our 3 and our 2 here to get 5 parts. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about my coordinates and see how it changes between my x and my y. So what I mean by that is if I look at C, which is at -1, 6, and I look at T, which is at 9, 1, how far, you're going to think to yourself, how far is it to get from -1 to 9? Well, it went up by 10. And then you're going to say to yourself, how far is it to get from 6 to 1? And you're going to say, well, from 6 to 1, all of your y's went down by 5. But remember that that's how far it is to go the entire length of the segment. So instead of doing it the whole way, we want to break that up into 5 parts. So again, you're going to think about your x's, and your x's went up by 10, but you're going to divide that 10 into 5 parts, which means each time your x is going to go up by 2. Then you're going to think about your y's, and your y's went down by 5. But again, we're dividing it into 5 parts, so each time your y will go down by 1. So now I'm going to redraw my number line over here to the right. I'm going to start with C at the very top, and I'm going to add 2 and -1 to my x and my y value respectively until I get to T, 9, 1. So that's my end goal, is 9, 1. And I should have to add it 5 times because I'm doing it into 5 parts. So let's see. -1 plus 2 gives, oh, it also helps, guys, to do your x's and your y's separately. So -1 plus 2 in your calculator would give you a +1. Plus 2 again gives you a 3. Plus 2 again is 5. Plus 2, 7. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our 5th time. This should be our last time that we add 2. And we get 9. Now we're going to repeat this same process for our y's, but instead of going up by 2, we're going to go down by 1. So down by 1 means I'm going to go to 5, go down another 1, 4, another is 3, another is 2, and then finally 1. And again, because I jumped 5 times, this T is my end point. So now that I've done that, I need to figure out where A is. Well, we said A was 3 jumps in, so I'm going to look back at my arrows. 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps. This is A.